Hello and welcome. This is part 2 of my Diablo 3 farming guide, essentially for solo and casual players. We're going to be looking today at rifts. So let's get right on with it. Number of builds we can use. This is Sage's Farm Everything, so you get XP and gold and death breaths, as well as all the other bits and bobs. D3Planner link is in the description for the exact pieces. I'm not going to go through that in great deal because you can look at that. The main disadvantage of this is that you don't get the gold wrap. So for low paragon levels, you've got to be a bit careful because it's a bit squishy. Next one is Crimson's Trimmings, which is quite a nice one because you get extra damage for your cooldown reduction, and it gives you 20% anyway for the 2-piece. So that's kind of good, and you're probably going to have 35% on your bits anyway to make Vengeance stay up with Dawn in the Cube. So you're looking at 50, maybe 60% extra damage just by wearing it. So that's quite a nice one. And of course you get the damage reduction as well from the resource cost reduction, although that's a secondary thing, isn't it? But the one I actually prefer is Classic Farm here, which is Pride's Fall, Syndicate, Ring of Royal Grandeur sort of combination. Again, all the links are in the description for the D3Planner to get the precise details of the gear bits used here. But what's important to note is that they vary quite a lot in damage. Crimson's Trimmings apparently gives the most, and the Classic Farm actually gives the least, which is an interesting one. But as we all know, what it says there in the damage box isn't obviously the full story. So here are the results. Bink. So for real riffs, I played for an hour and just did as many riffs as I could, as fast as I could, but I was still picking up stuff. I was still farming effectively, and this is what we got. So Crimson's did the best for reusable parts, Arcane Dust and Veiled Crystal. Sage's obviously is the one for Death Breaths because it gives out twice as many. So that's, you're going to need Sage's anyway. But the classic got slightly more blood shards, but that's largely irrelevant, really. Slightly more Forgotten Souls. I mean, the number differences aren't great, but they are differences. But we have to take account of goblins, so this is what you get when you include the goblins. And I based it on these assumptions here. So you get a certain number of parts for a certain number of goblins. I think I'm a bit generous with the Odious Collector, giving 100, although sometimes you can get 80 or 90. So with that in there adjusted, the Classic and Crimson's turn out to be very similar, with the Classic having the slight edge. Personally, I prefer the Classic because you just keep your finger on the fire button and just jump about, and because of the Pride's Fall and the Syndicate, you hardly drop any hatred at all. So, for example, here's a rift, a video of a rift that's been done, and you can see how fast that's done, and it's pretty quick. So if you look at the paragon levels, though, they're quite high, just over 1,100. So we're really looking at that 800 sort of level, where you start piling the paragon points into the main stat, by which time you should have got a complete set, maybe got a bit lucky with a few items. So let's have a look at where I am currently in the season, at how it behaves at the level I'm at. Currently, I'm at Paragon 773, and you can see the damage is quite a lot less than in the damage of the character used for the data, but it's essentially the same build. The actual Yang's Rico I've got is pretty terrible. It's not even ancient, never mind good. So Pride's Fall, Syndicate, Ring of Royal Grandeur, there's a Squirts, There's a Stone of Jordan, that's quite good. I got lucky with the 10 maximum discipline. And Avarice Band, it's not even ancient. There's no primals and there are no augments. We have Preparation Invigoration, Volt Tumble, Shadow Power, Shadow Glide, Vengeance Seethe, Evasive Fire Focus, Multi-Shot Arsenal, and then Thrill of the Hunt, Cull of the Weak, Steady Aim, and Blood Vengeance. We die if we die. There's no second chances for that. So let's see what a standard Rift is like with that setup. So here we go. And we're on Torment 16, because that's obviously going to be the best for farming. So as you can see, I'm going through. I've got to watch out for the explosions. They can be a bit of a problem because I'm not exactly very high Paragon at the moment. The Seasons buff will also kick in and do interesting things as well. So there's another one, and we are farming, so I am stopping to pick up things. This has got Battlefields of Eternity one, which is quite good for white items, so we'll stock up on a few of those while we're here. So we are farming, and there's the Rift Guardian. So let's just see if I can get him jumping on me. And that's that. So let's collect all the bits. I've got a full thing, so I've just picked something up and immediately dropped it. And that's that. So that's what it's like at a slightly lower level. So the classic one is the best for solo rifting, and obviously the more Paragon points you get, the faster you can do things. There are other builds that are useful depending on what gear you've got, but I always tend to go back to the classic one. So any questions or comments, stick them in the comments. Like and subscribe, that would be great. The next one in the series is for bounties, and the best way to do bounties if you're a casual solo player. Yeah, I hope this video was helpful, and thanks for watching.